information for giving me the opportunity to share our experience with regards to blue transformation and how we are going ahead with the process. So today's topic is advancing freshwater aquaculture, a path towards blue transformation. So as you all know that aquaculture is a very fast growing food production system in the world, and most of the production in the world which we are producing, which is around 178 million metric tons, more than 50% is coming from capture, around 90.3 million metric ton, and from culture 87.5 million metric ton. But when you will see the Indian scenario of aquaculture and fisheries, we are producing almost 17.2 million metric tons in 2023, and the major contribution is coming from inland fisheries system, where aquaculture plays a very crucial role. And more than 12 metric tons we are getting from inland fisheries system out of 17.2 million metric tons. So if you see this fish seed production, it has gone beyond more than 54,000 million fry we are producing annually. But the sector, freshwater aquaculture sector, it is mostly carp-based system. More than 70% production is coming from carps, and the contribution of within the carps, the Indian major carps, three Indian major carps, Rohu, Katla, and Mrigal, they are the major players. If you will see the Katla production, it's around 3.5 million metric ton, and India ranks first so far as production of Katla in the whole world. And Rohu also, we are producing more than 1.4 million metric tons, and India's share is almost 57%. Similarly, another species like freshwater prawn, which we call it as a scampi, we are in number 5 nowadays because of various reasons. Although we are producing more than 30,000 million metric ton in 2006, it has drastically reduced to 6,000 metric ton in 2010-12 onwards. Now it has picked up, and we are producing around 220,000 metric tons in India. So if you see the major resources of freshwater aquaculture, we have a huge resources of more than 2.42 million hectares of ponds and tanks, besides canals, rivers, derelict water bodies, upland lakes. If you see, more than 40% of only ponds and tanks are currently in use. So we have more than around 60% are still lying idle, you can say, in the freshwater aquaculture system, which can be taken it under aquaculture. So there is a good scope for horizontal expansion as well as also vertical expansion of this sector. When we talk about the blue transformation, it means that it is a targeted effort to use the existing or any emerging knowledge or tools or practices to make the aquaculture a sustainable food system to provide food security, nutrition, and affordable healthy diets. It can be achieved through newer technology innovations, and climate resilient aquaculture practices, through a stronger collaboration, through environmental monitoring and management, and also practicing circular economy, which will ultimately lead to the sustainability to produce or lead to blue transformation. In the process, we can attain more than 8 SDGs, which have been directly or indirectly related to freshwater aquaculture. So our strategy in Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture in ICAR, we are working on species and system diversification in freshwater aquaculture. We are working on genetic improvement programs. We are developing cost-effective feeds for different stages of fish. We are also simultaneously formulating different health management products, diagnostics, and vaccines, which are ultimately leading to increasing aquaculture production per unit area or increasing the productivity. And all these technologies which are being generated on different aspects in our organization, it has been given to the stakeholders through different technology, the training process, demonstrations, awareness campaigns, and outreach activities, livelihood programs, and through different central sector schemes like Northeastern Hill Region programs, scheduled caste subplan programs, tribal subplan programs. All those programs, they are taking our technologies or spreading the technologies to the all the stakeholders, which are mostly farmers or entrepreneurs. So if you'll see, we have produced captive breeding and seed production of 27 food fish species and more than 1.5 dozen of ornamental fish species. So most of the species you can see here, carps or bars and catfishes also and morels also. So similarly, in ornamental food basket, we have 1.5 dozen of indigenous ornamental fishes where we have developed breeding and seed production protocol besides freshwater culture farming, which is booming up nowadays. And if you see the species contribution to Indian freshwater aquaculture, mostly as I was mentioning, the Indian major carps, rohu, katla, merigal, they are contributing almost 67%, along with some minor carps and exotic carps. Besides, catfishes and morels and other food species are also contributing to this freshwater aquaculture system. So as I was mentioning, we have 27 species breeding and seed production technology. We have grow out technology for 18 species and ornamental fishes for 18 species. We are breeding and propagating. So coming to system diversification, we have varieties of systems which are taking care of the aquaculture productivity, efficient use of water in the presence of climate change scenario. So we have concrete tanks of seed rearing where we can produce seeds up to more than 90% survival. And we have recirculatory aquaculture systems where efficient water efficiency can be increased with increased production capacity from the unit area. We have bioflux systems where the flux can be utilized by the food fish species and to grow in the flux system with limited water use, water reuse. We have a FRP portable carp hatchery system technology which we have developed, and it has been provided more than 550 units have been given in different parts of India where farmers can take it and directly start the seed production. And also aquaponics technology where both the freshwater fish excreta can be utilized as a nutrient for growing the plants and further purifying the water. As I was mentioning, recirculatory aquaculture systems or in-pond raceway systems, the new technologies which are coming up for high density fish production system. And these are very highly profitable for high value species like morels, magur or singi. And also it is suitable for pangas, tilapia, pabda, carps, and variety of freshwater food fish species. And where we can go for 40 to 60 kg per cubic meter production. And there is a higher survival and it is very easy to manage, although the initial investment is little high. And it requires less space and water and less water discharge and easy sludge removal also are there. And these technologies, advanced hatcheries with advanced automatic monitoring systems makes the aquaculture as a climate resilient food production system. Besides, we are working on variety of genetic improvement programs, where we are improving the growth performance as well as the disease resistance power of our carps as well as also freshwater prawn. We have 3 selective breeding programs which are growing on over a decades, like a Rohu program where we are producing Jayanti Rohu, which is in 14th generation of selection right now. And it is one Jayanti Rohu with higher growth and AHR Jayanti with higher growth as well as disease resistance against one bacterial infection. And the genetic gain which we are getting per generation, almost 18% genetic gain for generation for higher growth. And every year we are producing more than 8 crore spawns which are being disseminated to 18 different states through our multiplier hatcheries. And this selection program is going on since last 1992 in Rohu. Coming to the Katla, another important Indian major carp species, This selection program, in fact, it is very new and we are in third generation of selection. But interestingly, we are getting more than 15% genetic gain per generation. And we have also started distributing the quality spawn of this improved Catala species to different states through our multiplier hatcheries, including National Freshwater Fish Brood Bank, which is located in Kausalagam, Bhubaneswar. We have another important species, that is freshwater scampi, where there was a lot of inbreeding and disease problems. And as I was mentioning, the production herd was drastically reduced. Now it has picked up within couple of years. We have started the selection program from 2007 onwards. Now we are in 14th generation, and in every generation we are getting 6 to 7% genetic gain. And we have right now 5 multiplier hatcheries in Andhra Pradesh, which are producing quality seed of this freshwater prawn, and they are distributing to different farmers to produce this improved variety of scampi. And every year also we are producing around 3 lakh seeds, which are being disseminated to the multiplier units. We have also different genomic tools for these species, which are being in advanced technology system we are utilizing for producing these improved species. And you can see the distribution of these 3 improved species, how far it has been reached from our nucleus breeding center, which is located at SIPA Bhubaneswar, through different multiplier hatcheries. And just to cite to some examples, how the performance of these improved varieties in the field situation. Just you see the improved varieties, which is giving more than 30 to 50% higher growth in comparison to the normal local rohu. And if you see the statistics, the BC ratio, benefit cost ratio, which is almost 1.97 in comparison to local rohu, which is 1.51. And the growth rate is quite interesting in different farmers field, different farming situations. And the rate of return on investment is almost 45% in comparison to local row in car polyculture system. Similar is the condition of Katla, which is named as Amrut Katla. It has been reaching to 7-8 states right now. We are in third generation, and it is giving almost 25 to 30% higher growth in field condition. And you can see the improvement programs which have been undertaken in field trial in different places. The local strain which goes 1.2 kg in a year, and the improved variety grows at the same time up to 1.8 kg in a year. Coming to the Scampi improvement program, you can see we are getting 3.6 to 6% genetic gain per generation, and you can see the improved variety trial in different field conditions. Besides these improved varieties, we have age-old practices and some old practices where the car polyculture is mostly practiced, and we are now introducing Rosenbergi into this car polyculture system. With same floating feed, you can stock at the same time roe, catla, mrigal in the first month, along with the prawn seed of 2 gram size, 10,000 to 15,000 numbers per hectare, and you can get additional income of 1.5 to 2 lakhs after 5 months. After 5 months harvesting the freshwater prawn and 12 months of harvesting carbs, where you will get 4 to 5 ton production of almost again additional income of 1 to 1.5 lakhs. So coming to carp culture or zero size stocking, where it is practiced more along with rohu, katla, merigal, where you can stock 100 to 150 gram size, and the farmers can take up 2 crops after 6 months, and you can get the table size fish production of almost 1 to 1.5 kg of katla and rohu near about 1 kg, and with a production of 6 to 8 ton per hectare and a profit of 2 to 2.4 lakhs per hectare. Of course, pangasius, we have the technology for pangasius breeding and seed production, and you can go up to 20 to 25 ton production per hectare, and with a net profit of 3 to 4 lakhs rupees. And we have high value species breeding and seed production and culture technology for singi, magur, and pavda, which are very much potential candidates for RAS or biofloc system, which has high market price, which are suitable for high density farming, and with a stocking of 25,000 numbers of 5 gram size magur, one farmer can harvest 100 to 150 gram after a 10 months period with a 60 to 70% survival, with a production target of 2 to 2.5 tons per hectare and profit of 2 to 2.5 lakhs. Morel breeding and seed production and culture it is being taken up at a very fast scale, particularly in the states of Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. It is picking up like anything. And this culture technology, breeding technology, we have been disseminating to Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, and other parts of India, where the farmers can stock up to 20,000 numbers per hectare of 10 gram size, and they can get a marketable size of 0.5 to 0.7 kg with 50% survival after 1 year of culture, 10 to 12 months of culture, with a production of 4 tons per hectare and profit, a huge profit of 3.5 lakhs per hectare. Besides, we are working on freshwater pole culture technology. We are producing designer poles, so besides round poles, and this technology have been given very thirst by Honorable Prime Minister in his Man Ki Baat program, and we are training on an average more than 200 farmers per year physically in our place. And for all those species, feed is very important, and feed contributes to 60 to 70% of expenditure in freshwater aquaculture system. And we are trying to develop species-specific pellet feed for carp, catfish, and prawn. And we are developing the broodstock diets like Sifa brood for Indian major carps. We are also producing farm-made feeds for small-scale aquaculture, where feed cost can be drastically reduced, and it can be practiced by the small farmers. And we are also working on feeding devices, feeding strategies, and feed formulation using black soldier fly and locally available ingredients. And most of the feed formulas and feed standards we are also developing for the Bureau of Indian Standards. And disease, as you all know, it is a major challenge for any culture system. And of course, more than 10% of loss is being occurred due to diseases. And there are a number of diseases like bacterial, fungal, parasitic diseases, which and viral diseases, which also occur in case of freshwater fishes. So we have developed several formulations like CFAX for epizootic ulcerative syndrome, Immunoboost C for enhancing immunity, CFA Cure for therapeutic formulation of ornamental fishes. We are also developing drugs for arbulos, which are ectoparasites, and several diagnostics have been developed from this institute. And our institute is working as a national referral laboratory to provide diagnostic services for freshwater fish diseases for throughout the country. And it is also a referral laboratory. To spread our technology to the stakeholders to reach out, we have developed a Matsya Setu app. Along with there is another app, Treat My Fish app, to first immediately respond to the fish disease problems. In Matsya Setu app, we have several learning modules are there, and it is a digital ecosystem for aqua farmers, and self-learning video modules are there, digital marketplace is there, and chatbot is there also, and where you can listen to many experts on different aquaculture technologies. So we have YouTube channel, we have training website, dedicated a website for the trainings in this institute. We have Facebooks and Twitter accounts. Besides, we are recently working on artificial intelligence systems, trying to develop artificial feed dispensing systems for the pond scale, large pond scale aquaculture, RAS systems, and ornamental aquaculture, and also working on different sensors, cameras, and data analytic tools to reach to the farmers, and how the farmers will use AI algorithms for data analysis and predictive modeling, and also to map the aquaculture bodies in different parts of the country sitting here in the remote locality. So as I was mentioning, these are some of the important central sector schemes like Northeastern Hill Program, Tribal Supplement Program, and ACC program. Just for example, you can see the number of beneficiaries we are reaching out every year. This is just for example. So with this, just I would like to thank once again Agriculture and Information for giving me this opportunity to share our experience, what exactly we are doing at ICR Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the detailed presentation. Now I'll take up some questions.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. The first question is, how can new technologies improve water quality management on my farm?
There are several sensor-based technologies are nowadays available. For example, if you want to measure pH, alkalinity, DO, so sensors will be placed in the pond system, and you can track the information at any time point sitting in your Android mobile. Through your Android mobile, you can get all the information. So these systems have been already developed and it is in use nowadays.
Okay. And what are
For
the most
example,
effective?
we have automatic feeder systems which are for high-end, like those who are doing intensive cultures and large-scale aquaculture. We have automatic feeder systems which you can regulate sitting in your laboratory, sitting in your room, sitting in at your inside your home. At what time you will give the feeding, whether the fish is feeding or taking the feed or not, there will be a camera installed itself which you can take the pictures from the deep water. So, and how much feed it will be given, how much feed is taken or not, everything you can regulate. It is not only for the farm ponds, but also automatic feeders we have developed for the biofloc tank systems, for RAS systems, recirculatory aquaculture systems, for small scale tank systems where the person or the farmer need not have to go every time to provide the feed. So automatic systems have also been developed. So a lot of artificial intelligence have been undertaken so far as aquaculture is concerned, and slowly it will be reaching out to the even small scale farmers.
Okay. Next question is, what are the most effective methods for reducing feed waste and improving feed conservation rate?
So the most effective system I would suggest to go for pellet feed and floating feed. So where the farmer can see how much feed is consumed, and the floating feeds, mostly fish will consume within half an hour to 1 hour. So if there is left out, the farmer can manage itself. So because it's very difficult in a pond aquaculture system to know exact biomass, how much it is there at any point of time. So the farmer can modulate how much feed is consumed. So probably the also you have to offer the feed at least 2 times in a day, so you can manage your feeding feed amount. So again, also there will be some kind amount of waste will be there. So it is always advised that you look into the water quality intermittently. So if your water quality is optimum and feed is being consumed, so you will get a good FCR, you will get a good growth of the fish.
Okay. And are there affordable innovations for automating routine tasks like feeding and monitoring water conditions?
Sorry, could you please
Yes.
repeat the question?
Yeah.
It's not audible.
One second. Are there affordable innovations for automating routine tasks like feeding and monitoring water conditions?
It is of course affordable. Many of these shrimp farmers they have started using it, but in freshwater aquaculture sector it is very less in use. Particularly, you can easily take which is very affordable, like for example DO, pH, alkalinity. All those sensors are there, which it can be easily taken or into use by the farmers. Absolutely no problem. But coming to the automatic feeders, automatic other kinds of sensors, it is not that much affordable, and when it will be in use by good number of farmers, slowly the cost will be reduced. So every day there are a lot of innovations are coming up, and slowly perhaps we will reach where a farmer can easily afford to the automatic feeding systems, automatic devices to use in their routine aquaculture practices.
Yeah. Um, how can I access resources for learning about sustainable farming practices in freshwater aquaculture?
Could you please repeat once again?
How
Please
can I
loudly.
access How
Yeah.
can I access resources for learning about sustainable farming practices in freshwater aquaculture?
Okay. Thank you. It is very interesting question. Perhaps there are a couple of literatures available. FAO has published a manual for a sustainable how you will go for sustainable aquaculture. There are several literatures are available which it can be looked into. But for sustain any kind of sustainable system, we should use the advanced technologies which are leading to mostly for sustainable farming. Until unless will not go for advanced technologies in our aquaculture system, the perhaps the practice may not be sustainable when you are going for intensification. Otherwise, if you will go for low scale production, extensive system of culture, perhaps it will be also sustainable, equally sustainable. So starting from the management, starting from the feed, whether it is health, all kinds of things, advancements must be practiced by the farmers when they are slowly switching over for increasing the productivity from the unit area or increasing the production or intensifying the production practices.
Okay. And what government support programs are available to help farmers transition to more advanced aquaculture methods?
Sorry,
What
please.
government support programs are available to help farmers transition to more advanced aquaculture methods?
Uh, there are several schemes, even for example, Government of India's Prime Minister's Matsya Sampad Yojana, PMSSY scheme, it is supporting. So I am not the right person to say on the schemes or the programs, all those aspects. But certainly all technological aspects, I will be very happy to share whatever knowledge I am having.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, any more questions?
Yeah. And can you recommend strategies for minimizing disease outbreaks and optimizing fish health?
Okay, there are several strategies and it is mostly case specific. So the best practices is to every farmer must sample their fish at regular intervals, whether it is at 15 days interval or 1 month interval or 2 months interval, that is most important. In case the farmer is seeing any abnormality either in terms of fish movement, fish behavior, water quality, it must be brought to the notice of the competent authority, whether it is fisheries extension officials, whether it is any kind of diagnostic laboratories, nearby diagnostic laboratories. So it is very, very important. So in case of human health or any terrestrial, in a terrestrial animal also, So it is very important when we are seeing any clinical signs, you can easily look in or take the help of the doctors available. But it is not the case of in case of aquatic animals. So the farmer has to be keep a constant eye on the farm. That is very, very essential. Once any farmer is looking into any kind of issues or disease problems, they must take help of the competent authority or diagnostic laboratory where they can diagnose the disease. Otherwise, each farm can send few samples, maybe every 2 months interval or for 3 months interval to the nearby diagnostic laboratory to check their fish whether they are in a proper condition, proper health condition or not. So if you will manage the water quality, that is also equally important. If you will manage the water quality, most of the disease problems can be checked. However, even if there is strong biosecurity, strong quarantine programs are available, still then disease is inevitable. So it is very important to diagnose the disease conditions, and based on the diagnosis, the doctors or the technicians or the experts will recommend different formulations which are available in the market to control the disease. Besides, we must try how to prevent the entry of the diseases or pathogens to the pond system. That is very important, and that we call it as a biosecurity system in the pond aquaculture.
Okay. And next question is, what are the key considerations when choosing between different species for aquaculture on any farm?
Okay, this is very interesting question. It depends upon the area. For example, in some area, for example, I will give a case study. For example, it is Karnataka. Where you belong, these people they prefer also most of the carps and barbs they prefer as a food fish. So they also prefer some ornamental. And depending upon the nature of ponds where water is available, whether it is available for 6 months, whether it is available for 3 months, or whether it is available throughout the year, and what type of species is preferred in that region, and what type of culture one can easily undertake, whether it is food fish, whether it is ornamental fish. So based on the market, based on the water availability, based on the resources, one can pick up what type of culture one farmer can take off for his profitable industry.
Okay. How can I integrate renewable energy sources to reduce operating costs and environmental impact?
It is very interesting, and nowadays government is also giving major thrust to utilize renewable energy. For example, all the high-end technologies, whether it is recirculatory aquaculture system, whether it is bioflux system, all these depend upon the electrical energy resources. If we switch over to renewable energy, probably it will be a great help to the country, and we can reduce the expenditure in terms of electrical energy which we are spending. And most of these RAS system or bioflux systems, they use electricity to run the pumps throughout the day to provide aeration to the systems, including the intensive production systems where they also use constant aeration. So it is a big resources. Renewable energy will be a big resource to provide energy for running the pumps throughout the day to provide the aeration to the ponds. And besides, it can also be taken off, or we are now using renewable energy resources to the automatic feeders, and it can also provide energy to the sensors throughout the day to take the information, and it can replace electrical energy.
Yeah. Are there cooperative networks and associations that offer support and knowledge sharing among freshwater aquaculture farmers?
Yes, there are FPOs, for example, there are some dedicated fish farmers producer organizations are there, which are being supported by different funding agencies like NABARD. They are providing support. And in many states, they have their own different agencies. They are supporting self-help groups and particularly women self-help groups and different cooperative societies, societies like fish farmer producers organizations are there, fish seed producers organizations there are there, and all these are being supported by either through state government funding support or by central government funding support. Particularly, there is a scheme under PMSSY which they are promoting the cooperatives, particularly fish farmers cooperatives.
Now we have the last question. What steps can anyone take to diversify a farm's products and markets for long-term resilience?
Pardon, please. Could you please repeat the question?
What steps can I take to diversify my farm's products and markets for long-term resilience?
So I would suggest the farmer or the producer must look into the market dynamics in that locality or where he is targeting for. So based on the dynamics, based on the products in demand, based on the type of products, based on whether it is a processed product, whether it is a raw product, whether it is a fresh fish, whether it is a live fish. So based on that, the farmer or the stakeholder or the producer should develop his technologies to reach out and to get the maximum benefit from his products. So that is most important. For example, he has a very small land holdings. He can go for high intensity production systems like whether it is RAS or biofloc. If he has a few hectares ponds, he can convert some of the ponds to infant raceway systems where he can produce 40 to 60 kg per cubic meter production systems. And in some areas now live fish has taken up the market. For example, if you are selling the fish from the pond side with, for example, carps, you are selling at 120 rupees or 125 rupees maximum. If you are selling the same fish in live condition in front of your farm on the roadside, or in case of some retail outlets in live conditions, you are just getting your benefit more than 60 to 70% extra. Some states states, they have very liking towards typical one particular species. For example, morel in Odisha may not be a demand, but in case of Tamil Nadu, in case of Andhra Pradesh, it has huge demand. So the farmers should target the species which is having high market demand in their locality if they are producing or in a small scale. If they are going for a large scale, then they have to link through all the value chain process so that they can derive the maximum benefit from their culture system.
Okay, sir, I don't see any more questions from our participants. So now we have come to end of question round. On behalf of agricultureinformation.com, we'd like to thank you for a very detailed presentation and answering all the questions in depth. And we also like to thank all the participants for joining this meeting. The meeting will now be closed.
Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you very much.
You're
Thank
most
you.
welcome, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.